the WWE surprise release of Bray Wyatt has people wondering what the hell is going on in WWE as they continue to release main event wrestlers yet continue to bring back dinosaurs like Bill Goldberg and paying top dollar for these legends. Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks how the WWE has seriously effed up. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, we've covered the many instances of the WWE's mind-boggling booking in videos such as why Raw needs to be cancelled and how the WWE has ruined Jeff Hardy, but now it's time to take a look at the WWE's insanely short-sighted business practices like its recent releases of main eventers like Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Is there any reason for these releases that makes sense, or are these moves as moronic as they seem? Well, let's look at the first factor, the Nick Khan factor. Now, no discussion of the WWE's cuts begin without looking at the WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan. Khan, who previously worked for that prestigious talent and sports agency Creative Artists Agency CAA, is co-head of television representing broadcast channels WWE, the Southeastern Conference, and Top Rank Boxing. When he took over, there were questions about what led to Vince McMahon selecting him for two major positions. In a statement confirming Khan's selection, WWE CEO Vince McMahon noted, "While representing WWE at CAA, he was instrumental in transforming our business model by securing domestic media rights increases of 3.6 times over our previous agreements. Nick's management style and personal demeanor are perfect for WWE's entrepreneurial culture and will fit right in with our exceptional management team." As fans know, the WWE negotiated big contracts with the USA Network and Fox, selling the rights to respectively air Raw and SmackDown with a 5-year USA deal reportedly worth over $1.32 billion and the 5-year Fox deal worth over $1 billion. Khan's role in this deal obviously appealed to McMahon. McMahon's faith in Khan seems to have paid off as the WWE licensed the rights to its WWE Network to the Peacock streaming service for 5 years in a deal rumored to be worth over $1 billion. Incredibly, the WWE also posted record profits for 2020 despite operating in the pandemic. On paper, it seems McMahon couldn't have picked a better person to run the company. After all, if Vince McMahon's focus on the present, as seen in his erratic booking, hotshot angles and well-known fondness for dropping a wrestler's push without warning, extends to his business, why wouldn't he be happy with the billions that Nick Khan has brought in for the WWE? However, what are the WWE's deep cuts to its payroll? Are these going to pay off in the long run? So these big budget cuts, are they a smart move? In addition to the WWE's new deals like the Peacock streaming move, they have also cut its budget with moves ranging from releasing wrestlers and long-time employees to consolidating departments it feels are redundant. These cuts have been controversial, especially the ones made during the pandemic, but they have resulted in substantial cost savings. So far, the WWE doesn't seem to have had any problems producing its live events. Although the Peacock streaming service continues to have technical difficulties streaming pay-per-views, it's still early in the game to see if the WWE's many cuts will affect its world-class production issues. The WWE's cuts appear to be another matter. While the case can be made that the many cuts in 2020 were necessary due to the company's new policy that it no longer needed to keep wrestlers signed to keep them away from rival AEW, the 2021 cuts included two main eventers and gutted an already weak women's division. Although the WWE can spin how wonderful its women's division is, the releases of more female stars was evident when SmackDown main eventer Bayley was injured, forcing the WWE to put perennial loser Carmella into its women's championship picture. More troubling are the releases of main eventers Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, both popular stars, with Wyatt standing out even more due to the incredible amount of merchandise sales he's had. Both wrestlers had the potential to be megastars, but the WWE's incredible poor booking of Strowman had prevented him from achieving breakout success, and Wyatt's booking took a nosedive following his loss to Goldberg at 2020's Super Showdown. The use of Goldberg exemplifies how it spends far too much money on legends such as the WWE Hall of Famer rather than investing in future stars. While Goldberg has a place in the WWE as an occasional performer who can pop the crowds in limited cases, put over other talent, it's insane to spend millions on performers like Goldberg that argue that full-time main eventers like Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman are too expensive. The future of the WWE is not with aging performers such as Goldberg who wrestle once or twice a year, but with wrestlers who have proven their ability to get over with the fans, sell ticket and merchandise, and work for years to come. The problem also comes down to the fact that WWE is paying top dollar for legends, and they're spending millions on them. However, whilst these legends might bring in a pop such as Edge, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar and John Cena, they're not going to be around for long. WWE is basically putting all their resources into top dollar legends, but is not creating a platform for new stars that'll be here for longer. Their repeated failure at pushing existing stars like Ricochet and release stars such as Rusev, Andrade, Buddy Murphy, Luke Harper and Aleister Black demonstrate the company's repeated failure at creating new stars. There can be no doubt that the WWE's release of talent such as Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman is providing its competition with top-tier talent should they choose to continue their wrestling careers, which seem to be the case. In the long run, this will be detrimental to the WWE's wrestling product and beneficial to AEW, but as we'll see, the wrestling product itself may no longer be the WWE's major concern. So what is the WWE's endgame? Now, we've discussed the question of whether the WWE is making these cuts to create a lean, high profitable company that is attractive for a sale. That possibility can't be ruled out, but there is another to consider with the variety of cuts being made, the idea that the WWE feels it's so established in the wrestling business that it no longer has to worry about its product. Instead, its focus is now on finding new distribution deals as a contract provider. To say that content is king right now would be an understatement. As more companies get into the streaming business, there is a greater demand for content. The recent sale of Reese Witherspoon's media business Hello Sunshine for a reported $900 million is the latest case of content going for major money. In terms of content, the WWE knows how to deliver. The product may not be highbrow Emmy award-winning material, but it draws the right number of viewers, that highly coveted 18 to 49-year-old viewer demographic, and no matter how bad of a rap wrestling may have had with some critics, the WWE has a number of blue-chip advertisers who are willing to sponsor their shows. Those two factors are more than enough for both TV networks and streaming services like Peacock. Now, I believe the WWE has gone from focusing on a wrestling product that brings in revenue from ticket sales and merchandise to one that focuses on providing content for various outlets. It appears the WWE feels its product is good enough as it is, and that it can continue sustaining acceptable ratings based on the same formula it has used for the last decade, regardless of who its wrestlers are. In Vince McMahon's mind, he has a winning formula and he knows which stars to push and which stars to use as supporting players. This means that when Nick Khan decides to cut the payroll, Vince McMahon isn't concerned with who goes as he feels he can use what he has and create more stars, even if that belief has no support in reality. Vince McMahon has created a brand that he feels will sell itself based on its name rather than its quality. Now, we aren't arguing that Vince McMahon has given up on the WWE's quality, rather he sees it as largely fine the way it is and a brand name he's ready to sell to every market that he can. But there is a big problem. While the WWE may not have any reason to worry in the short run, there have been signs of problems with the company's ratings and ticket sales. TV executives from both USA Network and Fox have reportedly expressed their concern about the WWE's ever-decreasing television ratings, and why shouldn't they? For the money both companies pay, they expect premium ratings, and the WWE has been struggling for several years now. The network discontent is not limited to television ratings either, as rumor has it that both networks are very unhappy with the loss of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, as well as rival AEW reportedly signing Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. As fans who have watched the WWE product continue its creative collapse, with occasional respites like Roman Reigns' heel turn, the loss of talent like Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, as well as the WWE's continued failure at creating new stars, is the proverbial recipe for disaster. The WWE is not going out of business, but it faces legitimate competition from another national promotion and is in danger of seeing its audience decrease to disturbing numbers. Simply put, at some point the loss in viewers will lead to a loss in huge revenue. As the National Hockey League's failure to negotiate a rights rate increase with NBC demonstrates, there are limits to how much a network is willing to pay, especially if ratings continue to slip. While the WWE will always have a place to air its content, whether it's on traditional television or a streaming network, the question is whether it'll be able to command top dollar for a product that less people are watching. Vince McMahon has been booking the WWE the same way for years, and it's unlikely to change. But with the WWE bringing in money in record amounts, it's difficult to argue he's not doing things right. But nonetheless, the WWE's business practices are slowly eroding the company's long-term growth. And while there may be madness to McMahon's method, It's a method that is going to do serious harm to the WWE if left unchecked. What do you guys think? Do you think the WWE is effing up by releasing all its top stars and not creating any new stars for the future? Investing a huge amount to legends who won't be here for a long time? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.